You're looking at one of the fastest, most accurate keyboard ever made. Ever. This mechanical keyboard is a hybrid between a magnetic and a mechanical keyboard, and both magnetic and regular switches are compatible, making this the first MagMech hybrid keyboard we are ever featuring on this channel, and I'm very excited to show you why this might be a good endgame option for you. Womier sent over the SK75 TMR, which not only is a hybrid keyboard but also boasts a tri-mode wireless connectivity powered by an 8000 mAh battery pack within for not only hours or days but weeks long battery life. Plus, this operates at 8000 Hz even on wireless mode, which to me is stunning as I've personally never tried 8000 Hz polling rate over wireless on a keyboard before, so this was really interesting. Scan rate is rated at 16,000 Hz, so yeah, it does have legit overkill specs on top of everything already mentioned. Made with full aluminum, this packs a lot of weight to it and feels very premium in terms of aesthetics and build. So much value packed on this keyboard, and I crown it the best mechanical keyboard you can get today. Hi, I'm Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. We've been reviewing keyboards, mice, and audio gear since 2019, so do consider subscribing so you're always updated with our new video releases. Anyways, as usual, I had to try this out in-game, and I have to say, the keyboard feels very good on hand, thanks to the very light switch springs. I also want to mention that the 75% layout was the best choice for this gaming keyboard, so as to give more space for your mouse movements. Too bad I don't have the tech to measure actual polling rate and scan rates. But anyways, I think the switches put here was a good idea, having 40-gram springs within. They're pre-lubed out Temu magnetic switches, and we will explore this in more detail in the next upcoming segments. But first, let's go over software.
So we have here the software of the SK75 TMR. And in the first tab, you have your key binding settings, stroke settings, where you could adjust your actuation points right here and set your rapid trigger settings over here. And over at switch settings, this is where you could select the keys and choose what switches is installed. So this is compatible with Temu magnetic switches, Gateron switches, and also TTC magnetic switches. Onto the advanced settings here, you have magnetic features such as dynamic keystroke, mod tap, toggle key, or snap tap. Very easy to set up. A, D, confirm. Now I have snap tap on A and D. Let's move on. Onto function settings. Here you can change the alternate functions of each key when function key is pressed. The red buttons here are those you cannot change. It's pretty much self-explanatory from here. So anyways, I have recorded a macro. I am recording a macro right now, and you can see that it's detecting even my mouse clicks. So that was a good plus. Moving on to light settings, you have light modes there, brightness, speed, everything else self-explanatory. With light edit tab here, you could choose the keys and select a specific LED color for that key. Moving on here in the share tab, you could save your macros and keyboard settings here to share with other people, and you can even download and import their settings. Over at my account, here's where you could save your settings and import them to another Womier keyboard that's compatible with this software. And that's pretty much it. Last tab here is again self-explanatory. Let's move on.
Inside the box, you get the keyboard, cable, key puller combo, 3 extra Temu switches, documentation, extra keycaps with Mac compatible keys, and a PET anti-dust cover. Thank you, Womier, for adding in the PET dust cover. It really helps stave dust off the keyboard, especially if you come from a dusty country like mine. The cable is really very thick. Not sure if it's a 3.0 cable though, but this should deliver 8000 Hz polling rate. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you also get the dongle in a Ziploc container in the box. And one nitpick I have with this keyboard is that it doesn't have a slot for the dongle anywhere around the keyboard. The dongle is also small, so it's easy to lose it in the rubble of stuff on your table. The keycaps you get here are colored keys for the WASD and some Mac keys with 2 colored command keys and 1 opt key. Anyways, let's go over the keyboard itself. It's really heavy, going nearly 2 kilograms. This is due to the fully dampened internals and the full aluminum housing. Underneath the keyboard, you get a weight plate which contributes a lot to the weight of the keyboard. Plus, it has a mirror plate for aesthetics. The on and off switch is underneath the caps lock keycap, which isn't entirely a pain in the tush, as switching connectivities is easily done with a function key, Q, W, E, R, or T, depending on what mode you want it to be on, be it Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or wired. So no need to turn this off even when charging. The USB-C USB-C input is in the middle of the top side, which is okay aesthetically, but an input by the left side would have been better for me, so I can place some stuff on the upper side of the keyboard without any issues with the cable. Going back underneath the keyboard, you do not get kick-up feet, so you can't angle the keyboard in different heights. However, the keyboard is already angled in a way that feels comfortable for my hands. Onto the keycaps. This has double-shot PBT keycaps in cherry profile. I really love the colorway of the keycaps with light blues on black, as I never thought this would be something I would like. In fact, I think it looks better than white on black, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just something new to my eyes. I'm so happy they went with cherry profile to make the keyboard feel more professional. I think OEM and other tall profile keycaps look too gamery or too in your face, for lack of a better word. Now moving on, stabilizers are really tightly placed on the plate, which was expected as always from Womier. However, I still do hear some very slight rattling on the stabilized keys, and this would be probably due to the light lubrication on the stabilizer stems. Dielectric grease should tame the stab stems and quiet it down. Onto the switches. These are magnetic switches from Outemu with 40-gram springs within. I highly recommend 40-gram springs and below for gaming, as it is very light and you will see a lot of improvements in terms of keystroke speed. But do note that I have light fingers and these are just my personal preferences. And also, I do want to mention that using ultralight springs on your switches helps stave off fatigue during marathon typing sessions, but at the cost of you making more typographic errors. Did I say that right? Typographic errors? Typos. There you go. Anyhow, I am at a loss with deciding its sound profile. Clacky or thocky? You decide. Onto aesthetics, this is offered in one colorway as of now, with a black body and black keycaps. The keys housing has a glittery texture to it, and to be honest, I'm not sure if this is powder coated or anodized because it feels smooth for a powder coated aluminum housing. Then, looking at the sides of the keyboard, you do see the separation between the top case and the bottom case, which I don't think looks all that bad, but it just seems a little unusually obvious. Next, if you look around the keyboard, you won't see any painted branding, but you do get engravings of the Womier's W by the arrow keys, which I thought was a good thing, as I personally do not like prints on my gear, be it a headset, mouse, or keyboard. Onto light indicators, this has a static white LED light on caps lock and win lock when activated, so they should suffice. And speaking of lights, this does have RGB, but with the dark build and the dark FR4 plate, they absorb the glow, which makes it look dimmer than they actually are. I prefer the RGBs off, as the black keycaps on the black keyboard looks really good without any lights on it. And I also see the legends better without any RGB glow. And looking at the bright side, you get to save more battery. Overall, with the RGBs off, the keyboard looks very minimalist and I really dig the dark look. Very premium all around in terms of specs and build. I will leave links down in the description below on where to get your SK75 TMR. I earn a bit of commission from those links, so I highly appreciate you getting your units from there. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.